Hey everybody, welcome to this video. So this video is directed directly at my players in my current campaign. This is going to be a run through on a character creation for Pathfinder. I'm going to be making a ranger, a elf ranger, very Tolkien-esque, Legolas kind of character, because I don't believe anybody in my current group is making a ranger, so everybody can kind of experiment and build their own character, and no one's going to come up with my character at the table here. So, alright, so without further ado, I'm going to be making it, I'm going to be using the D20 PFSRD pretty steadily. Normally, I would have printed out a Pathfinder character sheet, and for my guys who are only watching this and not watching the other videos, I get this directly from Pazio Publishing. It's a PDF, you just download it. I like this sheet a lot. It's very simple, very clean cut. It's got everything you're going to need on it. A lot of space for stuff. I print it off in 2 sheets because then I can use the back of the sheets for notes and things like that, for what I pick up and loot and things of that sort. Keeps me from filling out certain sections on here over and over and over again. Okay, so I will not be using this time around. What I'm going to be using is a custom, my own little quick Excel sheet that's got all the information in it here, that I'm going to go through and fill out as we go. The reason being is normally I would have this printed out and I'd be filling it out with pencil on the table, I'd be rolling dice and things of that sort, and you guys can't exactly see that because I don't have a camera hooked up, nor am I showing you guys my pretty face. So, I won't be using that. I'll be using this to keep track of everything. I do this a lot. I'll build a character in Excel. It's easy to put things in, easy to do the calculations and change this and change that as I'm building. And then I'll take it and then I'll basically transfer all the information that's on here to this character sheet, because this is easier for me to keep track of and keep with me. And most DMs, at least ones I know, don't allow computers and things like that at the table while you're playing, because hey, you're there to roleplay, you're not there to be on Tumblr or Imager or anywhere else while you are playing. On to building the character. So I'm going to be building Asnith. He's going to be Asnith the Elf, Ranger, level 4. Guys, I'm doing this specifically because we are going to be doing our campaign. Our campaign is going to be running at level 4, so I figured I'd show you guys how to build a level 4 character as opposed to level 1 kind of deal. Okay, so first thing I always do is I do my ability scores. That's always my first thing. After having the character concept, I already have my character concept in head. I'm doing a Legolas-esque character, so it's going to be a ranger. He's going to be using a longbow, a ranged character with high mobility and things of that sort. So, okay, so first thing I'm going to do is my abilities. Normally, I'd be rolling them out on the table, but because I am not going to be doing that, I'm going to use a dice roller. So for our dice rolling, I'm going to be using this full roll here so you guys can look at this section here. We're going to be doing 3d6 plus 6, drop the lowest. Ignore that 1, it's 1 times how many times you want it to happen, I guess. So I just went online, I grabbed this. This is just for what we're doing here. When we actually create characters and stuff like that, I'll want to know you guys' roles and stuff. We're going to be doing a modified version of the heroic role. So if you go to the Pathfinder and you go to ability scores on the side over here, open that up. They come out with a whole bunch of different ways for creating these. We're going to be doing a heroic, a modified. So they do 2d6, add 6. I do 3d6, drop lowest, add 6. Simply because it makes things, again, if we're doing heroic, you guys are heroes. I want them to be decently high scores. So let's jump back over to the dice roller. So 3d6 plus 6, drop lowest. So I'm going to have it roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, so these are some pretty spread out scores. I like it, actually. Alright, so I have a 15, 11, 16, 13, 18, and 12. I'm going to write those down real quick. 15, 11, 16, 13, 18, and 12. Okay, so guys, I'm going to have you do it twice. So we just did all 6. We just did 6 right there. That's for each one of our attributes. We're going to do it a second time, so I'm going to clear it. And I'm going to roll it out 6 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the reason for this is we got an 11, an 11, an 11, a 12, a 10, and a 17. So, the reason I have you guys do it twice is if this is your first roll set, right here, so we just had an 11, 11, 11, 12, 10, 17. The majority of these, this is not an impressive roll set. You guys are heroes. I want you guys to have a good set of attributes in here. You're supposed to be a cut above the average farmer. This is just slightly above for the most of it, and one attribute would be really high. It'd be great, but the rest are not very impressive. I didn't get any negatives. Anything below a 10 would be a negative, but at the same time, this isn't very impressive. So what I do is I have you guys roll it out once, roll all 6, then roll all 6 again, and then you pick whichever set you like better. Oh yeah, and by the way, just to show you guys, so they rolled out 3 6-sided dice, a 4, a 6, and a 5. It dropped the 4 to get the 17. It rolled a 2, and a 1. It dropped the 1 to get a 6. It's adding 6 to the end there, so 2, 4 plus 6 equals 10. A lot of low numbers here in rolls, and that happens. That's the random chance with this. You're going to get some low ones. So I'm going to go with the 15, 11, 16, 13, 18, and 12. I like that a little bit better. So I'm going to go over to my character sheet. So I'm going to be marking them off here on my paper. I don't feel like writing them down for speed. I'm just going to skip over that. So I know I'm doing an elf. I'm doing a ranger character, longbow kind of deal. So I've already gone in and put the racial adjustments in for an elf, and we'll go over that real quick. So I've already opened up the elf page. Scroll down. It says standard racial traits. These are all the things you get just for being an elf. So in Pathfinder, elves are nimble both in body and mind, but their form is frail. They gain a +2 dexterity, +2 intelligence, -2 constitution. So very dexterous, good intelligence, and not very hardy of body. Again, if you think of a Legolas and all the elves from a Tolkien universe, they're not very big and beefy. They're not dwarves. It also goes into and says the size, so elves are medium. Humanoids with the elf subtype, a base speed of 30 feet, and then the languages they speak. Then you get all the other traits, and we'll go into those as we get to them, starting just off right now, just with the racial ability scores. So let's jump back really quick to the Excel sheet. So I've already put that in. There's my 2 in the dex, -2 con, 2 to intelligence. It's not adding to the totals. I want this to represent just the dice rolls, so you guys can see where I put them all. But you can already see that the 2 is showing I'm giving us a +1 to dex mod, a -1 to con mod, and +1 to intelligence modifier. Okay, so character concept, Legolas. I have an 18, which is unbelievably, that's fantastic. That's going in my dexterity because he's going to be accurate, he's going to be dexterous, it's going to be amazing. So putting that in there, it gives me a 5 right off the bat for that mod. That's awesome. I like that a lot. So I'm going to cross off that one. I've used it. Let's see. Next, I want him to have a high wisdom. So the wisdom's going to get a 16 in it. That's my second highest right now. So let's see. Alright, so I've used the 18, I've used the 16. I have a 15, 11, 13, and 12 left. Let's see. So his charisma is going to be my next highest one because, hey, he's got to be pretty, right? So that's actually going to get a 15 there. Oops. So there, it gets a 15 for that one. So I've used the 15. I have an 11, 13, and 12. 11, 12, 13 left. So in order of importance, the ones I haven't touched yet, I haven't touched strength, con, or intelligence. Now, for me, for this character, strength is important because I want him to have a little bit of carrying capacity. Con is important because that's his health. He's already got a -1 to that. I don't really want to keep that -1, so I'm probably going to want to bump that up a bit. So let's see, and then intelligence. Intelligence for this character is not really important. It's got a natural bonus to it. I don't have any negatives in my scores, so I'm just going to kind of leave that one alone. I'm probably going to give that one the 11 because that's my lowest. Intelligence isn't. It's going to be my dump stat, so to say, for this character. I'm not that concerned by it. Um, it leads into my knowledge, skills, and things like that. But this character is not intelligent. He's going to be more aware of his surroundings. Okay, less book smart, more street smart. So now I have a 12 and 13. Both of them are going to give me the same bonuses. And I'm going to look and see, all right, what would I up in the future? I'm kind of probably looking, I'm going to up my constitution in the future because right now I have the -1. So if I give it a 13, which is my second lowest, or third lowest, I guess, of the last two, it's the higher of the two. I have a 13 and a 12. That gets rid of the negative from this -2 right here. And in the future, when I get my ability score bumps, I could make this a 14, and that would give me a +1 bonus to that, and that would retroactively give me a whole bunch of health when I do that. So we're gonna hold off. I'm gonna put the 13 in that, and the strength, that's gonna be my 12, because that's gonna give me a +1 mod. And that's just it's there. It's there to help me boost my carrying capacity. I don't plan on doing much in the melee area of this, so he's primarily going to be ranged, just rapid firing things off. Okay. So there, I've done my abilities. I have my mods. I've got my racial adjustments. There's no magic or miscellaneous at this point. I don't have any magic items that are going to boost things or any feats or skills that boost anything like this at this point. So I'm going to skip over that. Next thing I'm going to do, again, dealing with abilities, is I'm going to go to the D20, the Pathfinder website, and I want to look at the character advancement. Let's see, where is it over here? Further down. Character advancement right here. I've already opened it up, but I want to click on that. It's going to take me to this page. Okay, and it has this wonderful table on it, and it gives us the character levels. Basically, by character level, it tells you how much experience you need, depending on what track you're going on, to get to the next level, when you get your feats, when you get your ability score increases, and your wealth by level. So what I'm here for, though, is this. So we're 4th level, so I'm looking at this rung right here, right? So this is what I'm paying attention to, right? I don't care about the last two because that's NPC and NPC. They don't get any money. We're not building NPCs, we're building PCs, player characters. So, ability scores. We get at 4th level, which is coincident, I did not pick that on purpose, we get our first ability score increase. So that lets me add the +1 to one of my ability scores. That's the one I was really looking at here. I'm going to reference back to this when we get to feats and stuff like that as well, but right now I wanted to see that. So I do get 1. So I'm going to jump back to the Excel sheet. I can increase one of these by 1. Okay, so I'm going to increase my con by that 1 because that's going to get me that bonus here. Upping the strength, that would get me more carrying capacity, but I wouldn't get an extra mod for it. Dexterity, I could increase that, but again, I wouldn't get any bonus to my mod for that. Con, I can't, I'll get the bonus. Intelligence, I could up, and I would go to a 12, and I'd get a +2. Wisdom, if I upped, I wouldn't get any bonus. Charisma, I could up, and I could get a +3. But right now, my big thing is I want con, I want instant gratification, I want an extra point of health per level. That's kind of my one concern right now. So I'm going to increase that by 1. So I'm going to add a 1 into my miscellaneous, which factors into the total. Again, like I said, it's not, the total's happening in the background right here. You guys can see I'm doing a little bit of math up here. Also, we round down, so when everything that comes out half, it rounds down. So I add that in there, goes in the total, gives me my bonus. Happy days! I have a modifier for every one of these. It doesn't always happen. Some of these could have remained negative. It happens. It's not a bad thing. Some are much better than others. Obviously, my dex is a hell of a lot better than any of my others here. So, it is what it is. That's my character. This is Asnif. at his heart, this is what he is. So abilities are done. That's the fun part. Okay, so now we're gonna go and do the elf racial stuff. I always like doing race first because there's certain things you get bonuses and this and that and all kinds of stuff. So I like doing that first. So we're gonna go over here. I've already opened up elves under the PFSRD. So down here, size. Elves are medium creatures. Medium's the standard. That's human size. And again, humans are the average. So medium creature, you take up 1 square. Elves are humanoids with the elf subtype. That plays into effect if you get something that hates elves, or gets a damage bonus against elves or fae. They'd get a bonus against you. Their base speed is 30 feet. They don't get a fly speed and like that. They're just basically on the ground. They begin speaking Common and Elven, and then they can get an extra 1. They can pick one of these classes per intelligence bonus. And I believe I have intelligence bonus of 1. So I'll be able to pick one of these. He's a forest dweller, so I don't think celestial. I don't think draconic. I think we're gonna go Tolkien here. He's gonna speak orcish, simply because it's gonna be fun. Natural enemy kind of deal. We're gonna do that. Okay. So jump back to the Excel sheet here. Again, always feel free to pause it and stuff like that, guys, if you're doing things. I'm moving pretty quickly here. So down here in languages, I put it in the same space as it is on the character sheet. So as you scroll down in the character sheet, look, there's languages underneath your skills. I tried to lay it out the same, so it makes sense as I'm going along in this. So he speaks Common and Elvish. I just knew that in general. Characters always start with Common, and then if they have a specific language to their race, they'll start with that most often. So, and then he's also going to speak Orc, which is fun. So those are the 3. And just to make sure, intelligence, yes, I have a +1, so I get 1 more language. He speaks and writes and reads Orc, which is fun. Okay, so size, medium. Speed was 30 feet, which is 6 squares on the board. Each square is 5 feet. So there we go. Alignment. My alignment, I don't believe Ranger requires anything, so he's going to be a Ranger. He's going to be neutral good. Oh, that's bolded and underlined. I like it. I'm going to leave it like that. Didn't mean to do that. So he's going to be neutral good there. HP will come when we actually get to the class stuff, so I'll fill that out in a minute. Okay, so let's go down here. Racial notes and abilities. We're going to jump back now. I'm going to do some swapping back and forth because I like having things full screen. I don't like having things... I have a second screen, but you guys can't see it, so we're going to leave it like this. Alright, so we got languages. We have this type... Defense. Alright, so racial traits. I'm going to go over this real quick because I may change some of these. So, in here, these are the defaults for an elf. So a default elf is going to get these different bonuses. So if I drop down here, though, you can get a different racial trait, and it'll tell you what it replaces. So elves normally get immune to magical sleep effects, and they get +2 against enchantment spells and effects. They get a +2 racial bonus on perception. I like that. I know I'm going to keep that one. Elven magic elves receive a +2 racial bonus on caster checks to overcome spell resistance. They also receive a +2 bonus on spellcraft checks to identify the properties of magic items. So basically, elves are naturally magical. You know, they're a long-lived race. You know, they've been playing with magic for a long time, so they get some bonuses here. Weapon familiarity. Elves are proficient with longbows, including composite longbows, longswords, rapiers, and short bows, including composite short bows, and treat any weapon with the word elven in its name as a martial weapon. So basically, it immediately gives some proficiencies for certain weapons. They train with these from birth, kind of deal. They also get low light vision. They see twice as far as humans in conditions of dim light. What can your elf eyes see? Go. So underneath here, there's some different ones, and I'll let you guys pick. I mean, you go through and you read them and stuff like that. Okay, so I have gone through and gotten rid of The majority of these, actually, I ended up replacing all but Elven immunities and low light vision. So I got rid of weapon familiarity, Elven magic, and keen senses, which I thought I was going to keep. But I ended up going with fleet footed. While all elves are naturally lithe and agile, some are naturally speedy and give strong desire to rush into situations rather than worrying about looking ahead. Elves with this racial trait receive Run as a bonus feat and +2 racial bonus on initiative checks. This racial trait replaces keen senses and weapon familiarity. Basically, it gives me a bonus on my initiative, which is great. Not many things do that, which is fun. Means I get to go a little sooner in battle. But what I really liked was the Run. Receive Run as it's a feat. Basically, it gives me an extra multiplier whenever I use Run in combat or anything like that. Lets me run longer and things like that. And in my head, that's really what my character is looking at. He runs down these paths in the woods, in the forests, and so giving him a little bit longer to run. He runs a little bit further than anybody else. I think is really cool. It really fits well. The other one I took was at the bottom here, Woodcraft. Elves know the deep secrets of the wildland dwellers, especially the secrets of the forests. Elves with this racial trait gain +1 racial bonus on knowledge, nature, and survival checks in forest terrain. These bonuses improve to +2. This racial trait replaces elven magic, so I lost that. So if we jump back to the character sheet, I've already added them in real quick while I was taking care of that. So I added fleet-footed in, gain Run as a bonus feat, +2 inish. Woodcraft +1 knowledge, nature, and survival checks, +2 in forest. Elven immunities, immune to sleep effects, +2 versus enchantments, and low light vision. So that's what I get from my race. I get these here. So real quick, I'm going to go up here and for Woodcraft I get +1 knowledge, nature, +1 on the survival. So I'm going to go into survival here, and just under miscellaneous I'm going to add 1 for the time being. I'm going to add 1 in here, and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm not always going to be in the forest, but I always get a 1. So, but if I'm on forest, I get a +2. And this is my shorthand. On the character sheet, this is how I would write it. Obviously, I just read that whole thing, and it tells you all about it. Write shorthand. Write something that's going to make sense to you, so you know what it is you're talking about. For me, I know +1 knowledge, nature, and survival checks, +2 in forest. That means if I'm in a forest environment, I get a +2 instead of the +1. I get it. I know what I'm writing down there. So knowledge, nature gets a 1 as well. So it kind of gives me a little bit of a boost there, which is kind of nice. Cool. So that's what I get from being a race. What's nice about doing race first is now we're done with race. Don't have to deal with that again. I've got everything I need. So I mean, I'm looking at this. This is all kind of different. This is all different things you can swap in and out. The only other thing I would use on this page is starting ages. And you guys can go through and do this for your characters, especially the weight, because I will tell you there are certain traps that are triggered by weight. There are certain areas that are based off of height. So you walk in, you might have to be stooped, and that might cause a penalty. Hard to swing a sword when you're stooped, but you know, a small little halfling can walk around there and be perfectly normal. So gives you, as well as being able to reach ledges and stuff like that. So that's kind of a important thing. We are gonna all be in adulthood, so you pick something around that. So something around 110 years for me. So I could pick, 111, 114. They give you some kind of different ideas here. So let's see. All right, where would it put me? Rangers in self-taught. So I would roll 66, so anywhere from 116 years to 146. I'm going to make up 120. 121, so he's legal drinking age. We'll put it that way. All right. So, going back here, next thing we're going to do is now we're going to jump into the Ranger, the actual class. So, D20, PFSRD, core classes, Ranger. Okay. I've already clicked on the Ranger. I opened up Run, by the way. So this is the feat that I got. You guys can pause it and read it if you want. So what's nice about D20 PFSRD is it gives you the quick description. You were swift of foot, and then it gives you the benefit, and then it lists out what the normal is. So it tells you, okay, hey, so this is what you're getting. All right, well that's cool. How does it differ? Well, this one you get 5 times your normal speed, where normally you move 4 times your normal speed. Okay, and then 3 times if you're wearing heavy armor. So it bumps everything up. So it kind of explains that. Okay. So here we're at the ranger, badass looking guy over here. Not quite my elf, not Legolas, but close enough. So it gives the description. Rangers are deaf skirmishers. Alignment is any, which is awesome. Hit dice, D10. That's great. So I can roll a 10-sided dice to figure out my health. Starting wealth, we're not going to pay attention to that because you guys are going to get a certain amount off of the character advancement table. You guys are going to end up getting 6,000 gold pieces to spend at the beginning, which is for buying equipment, weapons, armor, miscellaneous things, magic items, and stuff, such and such. So we'll go over that when I get to that part. So going back to Ranger, here we go. Class skills. All right, so class skills are these ones here. What are class skills? Listen to the video and it'll explain it basically. If I put ranks into these, I get a +3. Okay, I get a +3 bonus if I put a single rank in any one of these. That's how it's a class skill. It gives me a leg up on people who aren't trained in this kind of stuff. So normally I would go into the character sheet and class skills, the fill in the box next to it here. That signifies a class skill, and then if you put a rank in it, you put a +3 under miscellaneous. Okay, so let's see, go back to this. There we go. So level table. So this kind of is going to give me a whole bunch of information right now that I'm going to copy over. I'm going to deal with the saves and base attack bonus. So 4th level, so my base attack bonus is +4, fort save is +4, reflex save is +4, will save is +1. Weak of mind, not really, but somewhat. So I'm going to go put these in here. 4, 4, 4, 1. So under here, base attack bonus is 4. Okay, my saves here. So fortitude, my base save is a +4. My reflex base save is a +4. Wisdom, my will save is a +1. Okay, so these are my saves. I already do the calculation. It pulls the correct mod. So this is pulling my constitution. This is pulling my reflex. And this is pulling my will. So I got a 5, a 9, and a 4, and that makes sense because I'm really dexterous. So when there's a trap, he'll be able to get out of the way. He'll be able to dodge things. He's a dodgy little fuckwad, as we like to call them. So those are in, done. I've already, like I said, I do some of the calculations and stuff like that already. So like this one here takes my base attack bonus and my strength mod. So 4 and 1 gives me 5 for my CMB combat maneuver bonus. That's if I'm trying to trip someone, I roll a d20, I get to add this. There's a whole bunch of different actions, but that's what you roll in order to do those actions. Combat maneuver defense is 10 plus base attack bonus plus strength mod plus dex mod. So 4, 5, 10 plus 10 is 20. So that's how that came about. And you'll fill those in yourself. On the character sheet, it has that right here. So base attack bonus, strength modifier, size modifier. You guys are medium. I don't think there's. I guess if you're a halfling, you'd get a bonus here. But for any human size, any medium-sized creature, you get a 0 in that. And then CMD, base attack bonus, strength, dex, size plus 10. And the totals just go there. Base attack bonus would go here. Spell resistance, I don't believe any of you get spell resistance, so I'm not even going to go into that. Fortitude, reflex, will saves are right here. Base saves, the ones I just filled in. Ability mod, you'd take from up here, put it down in here. We have no magic, no miscellaneous. For my character, if you had them, you'd fill it in, and then you'd have your total. Armor we'll get to. Initiative, which I don't think I have on mine, would be my dex mod, so that'd be 5. Plus the miscellaneous, I get a +2 from that racial trait. So I'd have a total of 7. So I get to roll my d20 plus 7 at the beginning of a fight to see what order I get to go in. Okay. And yeah, I don't think I have that on here. I don't think I have initiative. So I'm going to add it right here. Initiative is a, what did I say? 7. There we go. Okay. That doesn't need to be bold and underlined. There we go. So initiative is there now. Okay. Okay, so moving on to the next section. We're going back to here. We're going back to this. So everything. So on this, for these lines on the tables, I get what's in the row. That's it. It's not compounded. You don't get to add 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2. I just get this. It's the plus 4. I got the increase last level, which is great. So I've already grabbed all this. This column is special though. I get everything above it here. So I get Hunter's Boon, Endurance, Favorite Terrain, Combat Style, Feat, Favorite Enemy, Track, Wild Envy. I get all of that. So that's stuff that I am going to copy over onto my character sheet under Class Notes and Abilities. And again, under the actual character sheet on the second page, Special abilities. This is where you'd put all this. So all the stuff from racial, all the 4 items from racial would go here. All the stuff from my ranger would go in here as well, along with my short description. Again, that's the other reason why I keep things short. They don't give you a ton of space to write here. Obviously, you can use the back of your sheet. That's what it's there for. I mean, create a second sheet, whatever you need to do to keep things in your head. Like I said, when I normally play, computers aren't allowed. This game, we're using Roll20. You guys are going to have access to the internet and stuff like that. So you could have the PFSRD up and looking at things. That's not a problem. So you can see the exact definitions. I don't mind that. Prefer you guys pay attention, but I can't stop you if you're across the country, right? So that is that. So we're going to go back to Ranger real quick. Where's it? There we go. So what do I get? So as you scroll down here, it's going to kind of start going in and starting at the top and running down to the bottom. We're going to have all this information. So class features. So Ranger is proficient with all simple and martial weapons. I would include that under my class features. There's simple weapons and martial. If you click on these 2 links here, it'll actually take you to the weapons page, which is also on the side over here, equipment. Weapons, I'll take you there. I just clicked on it, brought me up, so it breaks it out. Simple weapons, basically utensils, farming utensils, things like that. A dagger is a basic knife. A sickle, farming utensil. I mean, there's not much. Brass knuckles. It's simple things. Anybody can pick this up and use this. A club, a mace. I mean, these are all clubs. That's what those are. Very basic things, spears and stuff like that. I stab it at a distance. Simple crossbows. Anybody and everybody can operate a crossbow. Anyone watching this video can operate a crossbow. It's not hard. That's the whole idea behind it, is they could hand that out to any peasant and they can use it to defend the castle. So this is basic stuff. Ammunition to go with all the range stuff. Then martial. Now we're getting the things that are actually used to fight. Like that's their intent. They were designed for this, or they were modified from their basic version to do more damage, right? So I'm proficient with all these. We're in the martial here. The one that I'm going to use, again, we have all these different long swords and stuff like that, shields, when it comes to shield batching and stuff like that. 2-handed weapons, great swords, great axe, great gloves, pickaxes, scythes, ranged weapons. So this is where my character, Azneth, is going to get his, because he's going to use a longbow. He's not going to use a composite. The idea behind it is you can use a strength bonus on it. Well, I guess you could use a longbow composite. So yeah, so he's going to use a composite longbow. Costs quite a bit more, 125 more. But it lets me add a bonus to damage. Normally with range, you don't get to add a bonus to your damage because there's no... I throw a stone at you. I don't get to impart any more of my strength into that to do more damage. My strength comes into play with getting it across the distance to hit you. If I swing a sword at you, now my strength comes into play because it's cleaving into you. So, but this longbow composite, it's actually a stiffer kind of bow, composite bow, and it requires a certain amount of strength to be able to pull it back. So it requires a strength of at least 12. Oh wait, maybe I can't even do that. Let's see. What is my strength? It's a 12. Excellent. I have my +1 bonus. I can use that. So I can use the composite bow and deliver a little bit extra damage, which is never a bad thing, right? So, but it falls under martial. I guess that was the big thing, is I was checking the martial to make sure that what I wanted to use fell under martial, which it does. So we're good. I'll leave that up because we'll be using it a little bit later. Okay, and it's proficient with light and medium armor. He cannot use heavy armor. It's a good thing to note, again, on the character sheet, we'll say that. And I can use shields, everything but tower shields, because tower shields are very specific to martial. being a true soldier or something like that. I'm a ranger. I'm running through the hills, through the forest. Okay, favorite enemy. And again, now we're into this. So the first part, armor, weapon proficiency. This is what I can use. Now we're into the actual different things that we get. So favorite enemy. Ranger selects a creature type from the ranger favorite enemies table. +2 bonus on bluff, knowledge, perception. Checks against this creature of this type. Likewise, he gets +2 bonus on weapon attack and damage rolls against them. Cool. So I get a bonus because I know my enemy really well. I can bluff. I know things about them. Noticing them and understanding what they're thinking or trying to do. As well as survival against them. So basically, I've been around them long enough. And then every couple of levels, so next level, on level 4 now, next level, I'll get to pick another one of these. So I can pick off of this handy-dandy table over here. And again, you have to pick something. So you can't pick humanoid and get everything that's humanoid. You have to specify. I always like this one, humanoid, human. So if I was metagaming, and I'm not, and I'm building a character, my character lives in the forest, he's probably going to pick animal as his favored enemy, because that's what he's going to run into most often. The only other one, because I've already given him orc, would be humanoid orc. Those would be the two that thematically I would give him. If I was metagaming, I would pick humanoid human, because hey, I suddenly get a +2 bonus on buff every time I'm talking to a human, who is the racial majority. So don't do that. You can do that if that makes sense for your character, but guys, pick things that make sense for the character, not for the game. Okay. So I'm going to pick animal, simply because I think that's the best. He's going to run into animals even more than he's going to run into orcs. So this just goes on to explain that if you pick humanoid or outsider, you have to pick a subtype. So track. A ranger adds half his level to survival skill checks, which would be a +2 for me, which is great. I'll add that when I get back to I can do it right now. So survival skill tracks, I get to add a +2. So I have a +3 miscellaneous. Wait, does that say made to follow tracks? So it's not all of survival skills. It's just to follow tracks. So I'm actually going to change that. I'm going to change that back. So I'll change that back to 1, because I always get the 1. Always get 1 on survival from the being an elf woodcraft. But then I would make a note of +2 for tracks. So I'd say space +2 tracking. Okay. I'm going to do this while I think about it and make that text so it doesn't decide to change on me later. So I would make that note next to it. And again, on the character sheet, just in the margin right here. That's where you make that kind of note. You do your description underneath the special ability section. Do your description there of tracking, but that is what you see. Write down that. So, wild empathy. I can prove the attitude of an animal. So basically, if I take a minute, which is 10 rounds in combat. So if I'm in combat and something's trying to kill me, if I take 10 minutes, 10 rounds, I can maybe make him be happier with me. I've never really understood this one, simply because it takes so long, and it makes sense. I mean, you're kind of staring each other down and getting a feel for each other. But it may happen faster or less. Depends on me, the DM. But so I can do that just to make a diplomacy check. And if I fail that check, guess what? My throat's ripped out, kind of deal. So I have this ability as well. There's nothing really to do on the character sheet other than I know I can do it. So, all right. Next, I get a combat style feat. At 2nd level, ranger must select one combat style to pursue. Choices depend if the APG is being used. Yes, it's another authorized book that can be used. Advanced Player's Guide is APG, by the way. So normally, the original core book gave you archery or 2-weapon combat. That's it. APG gave you crossbow, mounted combat, natural weapon, two-handed weapon, weapon and shield. So it gave you a whole bunch of different things you can pick. Basically, what this one does, so at different, I pick one style: archery, crossbow, mounted combat, natural weapon, thrown weapon, yada yada yada. I'm picking archery, so that's makes sense, right? So at certain levels, I get to pick from one of these feats, and I'll get these feats at those levels. Okay, and at 6th level, I can add one of these. So I add all of these to the list of ones I can pick. At 10th level, I get these ones. So basically, as I go, I get extra bonus feats in addition to the ones I normally get just through leveling. At 2nd level, I get my feat. I would pick one of these. Okay, I'll hit that when I hit feats. I know I get it. So I get one of these feats here. Most likely it's going to be precise shot. Okay. Okay, that's the end of that one. Endurance, I gain endurance as a bonus feat. Basically, it gives me I ignore a lot of different fatigues. I can sleep in my armor and things like that, which is kind of cool. Next, I get my favorite terrain at 4th level, or at 3rd level. So same thing as with the favorite enemy. I get to pick a terrain, and again, the terrains are down here. I'm obviously going to pick forest right here. And I get bonuses when I'm in the forest. I get a +2 bonus on initiative checks and knowledge geography, which is great. So whenever I'm in a forest, I get a bonus, which is fun. And then every couple of levels, I get to pick new terrains and things like that. So if I find that, hey, I'm traveling through, a lot of plains, not plains, but plains, I can pick that as my next one, and then I'll get the bonuses there as well. Which is kind of nice, and it lets you figure out, okay, hey, where's the campaign going? Cool. So I'm picking forest on that one, so I get a +2 bonus on initiative checks and knowledge, geography, perception, stealth, and skill checks when he is in this terrain. Also can't be tracked when I'm going through the forest, which is kind of fun. So I can run full out, and you can't follow me. And I can run faster or further than everybody else. It's awesome. Hunter's Bond at level 4. I can do one of two things. I've already read through this. I can either share my bonus, my favorite enemy bonus, anytime we're fighting an animal. I could share that bonus with people within 30 feet of me, my party members, or I can get an animal companion. I've already made this choice. Screw you guys. I'm getting a freaking viper, and that viper's gonna live up my sleeve. And so when I'm shaking hands with people or whatnot, or whatever happens, I have a viper that can come out of my sleeve and bite you. So yeah, he's gonna curl up and around my neck, and we're gonna have good times. So I like this idea. So I'm gonna get a viper as an animal companion. That's what I'm gonna do for this one. There's nothing else you have to do on the character sheet other than you would go to the actual page for the viper. And it's going to give you all the stats for it. So you'd make a note on this. Most likely on the back side of this pages. There are some character sheets I know that have sections for this. The one that I use does not. So I would include all this on the back. So again, it gives the armor of the snake and stuff like that. So it gives its attack. Oh no, that's the 4th level. So it's a small creature. It can move 20 feet around. It can climb up 20 feet around. Swim at 20 feet around, which is great. It can go across ground, up a wall, or along or in the water. It's got a bite. It does 1d3 damage plus poison, which is awesome. It does con damage. Here are its ability scores, and has low light vision and scent, which is awesome. And at 4th level, I guess it gets boosted. You get some bonuses here, which is great. It goes up from a d3 to d4, which is cool. Size medium. It gets big enough, which is fun. Okay, so I'm doing that. I'm not going to write any of that down because I just went through it all with you, and normally I'm doing this myself and not out loud. I would be writing it down, so I would include that. There'd be a section down here and all the information about my Viper and its name and all that kind of good stuff. And then all these class notes, everything that I'm talking about now is going to be down here, and I will add that. So you'll see, guys, by the end of the video, you'll see this. It'll all be filled in. I'll have paused at some point by then. So that's what. Oh, that's not the right. There we go, Ranger. Okay, spells. So that's the last thing I get. So if I go back up to the here, 4th level, I get spells for the first time. So I gotta start getting some divine spells as a ranger. He's a divine caster. So here's Hunter's Bond. That's the last thing. So there's my Viper. I've gone through everything else already. I've got all these. The spells are the last thing. One of the reasons I picked this particular class is because I do get spells, because I can go over it with you guys real quick. Where are we at? Spells. So this section is important for everyone who has spells. So for the paladins, for the clerics, stuff like that, you're going to want to read this section real quick. It's not very long. So beginning 4th level, ranger gains the ability to cast a small number of divine spells, which is drawn from a ranger spell list. PFSRD has a list for all of them. I have the list for ranger up here, and they go through, and it's all listed out here. And each one you click on it, it'll bring you to the page for that specific spell. It gives this as well. Divine spells are special because you get anything on this list for divine spells. So first level, I have access to all of these, even the ones that don't make sense for this character. I can cast anything on here. I just get divine knowledge on how to do it. If you're a sorcerer or a wizard, you don't just get anything on here. Sorcerers only know a certain number. You pick them. Wizards learn them as they go. So you can learn unlimited. You could learn the whole list, but you don't start off with that. So divines get anything on here. So I would have to pick and choose which ones I get. So one of the things I want to do, though, real quick, go back to Ranger, continue reading this. A ranger must choose and prepare his spells in advance. That's done every morning is the default. Where is it? Spend 1 hour per day in quiet meditation to regain his daily allotment of spells. A ranger may prepare and cast any spell on his ranger spell list, provided that he can cast spells of that level. He must choose which spells and prepare during his daily meditation. So you pick at the beginning of the day. So if I get 3 spells, I go to my spell list and I go, alright, I want Blend, I want Detect Poison, and I want Collide. Or I want Air Bubble, I want 2 Air Bubbles and an Alarm, because I know today we're going to be going down into this pool of water. So now I can do it twice. So I can go submerge myself twice for whatever the duration is. So I can have 2. So you can give yourself multiple. I could do all 3. If I know that all I'm doing today is I'm going to be swimming around and I get 3 spells, I'm going to make all 3 of them Air Bubble. If I know that I'm going to be in a kind of stealthy situation, I can make all of them Blend, so that once one kind of runs out, I get the next one. That kind of idea. So you can have any combination. So let's go back. Ranger. Okay, to cast a spell, a ranger must have a wisdom score equal to at least 10 plus the spell level. Alright, so basically they're a wisdom caster. Now what does that mean? That means that if I go to, I almost scrolled back up to the top there, I didn't need to. If I go to my sheet here, wisdom, right here. So I have a score of 16. So I have a score of 16. That means I can cast up to 6th level spells. Fortunately for a ranger, I only have up to 4th level spells. Come on. So a ranger can only cast up to 4th level spells. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I can cast any spell that I have access to. But what it means is that if I had a wisdom score of 11, I could only cast 1st level spells. If I had a wisdom score of 12, I could only cast 1st and 2nd level spells. 13, 1st, 2nd, or 3rd level spells. 14, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th level spells. Same thing goes for every other class. You have a specific score or attribute. That's where you draw your magical power from. Rangers draw it from their wisdom. Wizards draw it from their intelligence. So that's the one you have to have a score to be able to cast certain levels of spells. The difficulty class for a saving throw against a ranger spell is 10 plus spell levels plus the ranger's wisdom modifier. So that's how hard is it for someone to resist. If I'm a wizard and I have a 14 in my intelligence and I'm casting a low level spell, and you have to make a saving throw or fall asleep. So I cast sleep. Now you have to make a saving throw. You have to roll your will save, add your bonus, and you have to beat 10 plus my 1st level spell, so 11, plus my wisdom modifier, or my intelligence modifier, which is 2 if I'm a wizard. So that would be a 10, 11, 12, 13. You'd have to be at 13 with your will save in order to not fall asleep. Same thing with this. If I'm trying to cast a spell right now with my character, and it's targeting someone else's mental attribute, they'd have to make a will save. So I'm casting a first level spell, so it's 10 plus 1 plus my wisdom modifier. What is my wisdom modifier? It's a 3. So I have 10 plus 1 plus 3. So it's a 14. You need a 14 on your will save in order to resist it. Okay? Hope that makes sense for everybody. Quick thing, that's for spells. So I know that for my particular ranger, it gives a 0 right here. And I think this happens for paladin and stuff like that. Basically, you don't get any spells innately. If you have a high enough wisdom modifier, you'll get bonus spells. And that's, you can see that if you go to the ability, ability scores. Where's ability scores? Why am I missing this? There it is. We'll just go to this one. So ability scores, and you scroll down a little bit here, ability modifiers and bonus spells. So mine's a 16, which means I have a modifier of 3. That's my wisdom for this character. So I fall into this route. So I get one of each of first level, second level, and third level. I get bonus spells. Well, right now I don't have access to second and third level because I haven't reached that far into the training as a ranger. But I have access to first level. So I get one spell. Okay. So because of my high wisdom, I get one bonus spell. So I have another tab at the bottom here. It takes me to another page real quick that I threw together. So first level, spells per day, I get 0. Bonus spells, I get 1 at first level, I get 1 at second level, and I get 1 at third level. I'm going to fill those in just because I know that I get them. I know I don't have access to the second level and third level yet, but I'm going to fill it in because I'm thinking about it right now. Now I don't ever have to worry about it again. Unless my wisdom goes up more, then I would modify and get some more. So for the time being, I only get 1. So I've already gone through that spell list, and I've picked one. So I went through this massive, wonderful list here of all these different spells, and I kind of read the short descriptions, and there were a lot of fun ones, but the one I really liked was Whispering Lore, so I clicked it. It's an elvish only one, and hey, I'm an elf. So it's a divination spell, and these are the different levels that anybody can cast it. So levels you have to be in order to have access to it. Casting time takes a full round action, so it's a full 6 seconds for me to cast this. It requires a visual component, a verbal, a somatic, and a material/divine focus. So it has a focus aspect to it, and basically it's an owl's beak. I have to have an owl's beak in order to cast this spell, and that's normally just included. If you know how to cast a spell, you know, all right, I need an owl's beak, and I have it. Certain materials disappear, like if you're doing a resurrection, you lose the material required to resurrect someone. But this is just a divine focus. You don't lose that. It would say it down here, what if you would lose it. So verbal, I have to say something in order to cast this. Somatic, I have to do a hand wave or some sort of motion in order to cast this. Those are up to you. As a player, you get to kind of come up with what are those components. It's just more theatrics, building characters and stuff like that. Hey, for you, what is your verbal component to cast for Whispering Lore? Maybe it's you have to whisper to a tree or something like that. And then the act of you have to, kind of put your hands on either side of the tree in order to ask this. Or whatnot. I mean, I'm just using a tree, but maybe because you can do it in different locations for this particular spell. I'm using it in the forest sense. Okay. Effect. Range is personal, which means it only affects me. Target is me. Duration, it's 10 minutes per level, so at 4th level it's 40 minutes. Okay? And then here's the description of it. I've already gone through. It gives me a +4 bonus on knowledge checks, respective to the area that I'm at. If I'm in a dungeon, it gives me knowledge dungeoneering. If I'm in a whole bunch of different environments outdoors, it gives me knowledge nature. If I'm in a city, knowledge local. If I'm on a different plane, it gives me a knowledge planes. Okay. So I picked that one already, so I'm going to close that. And I wrote it in here. So under mine I wrote spell name, Whispering Lore. Takes 1 full round. Here's my components, what's required. Its range is personal, targets me. Duration is 10 minutes per level. and then my short description of it. And basically, I do it this way because then I'm not doing a quick reference and stuff like that. I don't have to keep going to the website to say, all right, hey, it's morning. I need to pick my spells and all this kind of stuff. And I would fill this out with the majority of the spells that I liked and thought I would use. But for now, this is kind of what I would do. So there's my one spell, and then I would say it's ready. This is what I memorized in the morning. I get one spell a day. This is what I get. Okay. So we now have done spells and all this kind of stuff. So now what we're up to is feats. So we've gotten everything we needed to off of the Ranger itself. So we don't need to look at those. Don't need to look at that. We've copied everything we need to down from here, with the exception of the fact that I get some bonus feats and stuff like that. And I'm going to figure that out. So I know that I get one bonus feat at second level. So I'm going to get to pick one of these at second level. But I also know that as I level up under character advancement, I get a feat at first level and a feat at second level. Or a feat at third level, I apologize. My second feat at third level. So I get a feat. Then I get, at this level, at second level, I'm going to get my specialty feat from being a ranger. And then at third level, I'm going to get another feat that I get to pick. So I can go here, and I've already listed out, so I get a feat of first and third. And then I would get a ranger feat. Because that's the class I am. Okay, so I would be able to go in at second level and at sixth level, or not third, at sixth. And so on and so forth. So whatever that feat would be, whichever one that I pick will go there. So I already know that my first feat for Ranger, I'm going to take the Precise Shot. No, I'm sorry. Where are we at here? Let me go back to Ranger real quick. Where's Ranger? Where are you at? There we go. So here, I'm going to take Precise Shot, which I already have open here. This is the one that's shooting in combat. That's going to be my Ranger specialty one. I'm also going to take, though... No, I'm sorry. That's going to be my first level one. Is going to be Precise Shot. I'm also going to take Point Blank Shot. This one here gives me a +1 bonus on damage rolls. That's going to give me, so if I ever end up in close combat. But by doing that, it also allows me to get some of these other ones. I'm pointing here because it's easy to see, but a lot of these feats have other requirements. So I'm going to click on Focus Shot real quick. We'll open that one up. And let's see. So you can look here and see the prerequisites. I have to have an int of 13. A point blank shot and precise shot. I have to have these three to get it as a regular feat. Anything I get as part of the Ranger bonuses, I don't require to get. I don't need those prerequisites. I just have the ability to get them. So I actually don't have the ability to get this because my intelligence isn't a 13. So I cannot get a focused shot. So I can't add my intelligence to do extra damage. So this one apparently I cannot do as a regular feat. I would have to get that as a Ranger feat. Because I can ignore, even if he does not have the normal prerequisites. So since I don't have the prerequisite of a 13 intelligence, I can still get that as one of mine. So I would probably go with, actually, Rapid Shot. Basically lets me fire a extra attack at -2 across the board, which is great. More damage, right? Not a problem with that. So for my character, I'm going to end up using my first level as Point Blank Shot. My second level is going to be, or my Ranger one is going to be Rapid Shot. And my third level, I'm not sure what that one would be. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to fill this out. So first level, the feat is Point Blank Shot. Then my Ranger feat is going to be Rapid Shot. And then my level 3 is going to be Precise Shot. Okay? So there. So there are my 3 feats that I get. Here's my 2 from the levels, and here's this one. The reason I did it in this order is Point Blank Shot is a requirement for Precise Shot and Rapid Shot. Now this one again, it doesn't require any prerequisites. I just get the access to it because I'm that good. I don't need the prerequisites for it. But for other ones, I require. So for Precise Shot, I require this one here. So I'm going to do that one first. Then I get this one, and then I get this one. But say I didn't want to get Precise Shot as my third. Go to the PFSRD. Go to regular feats right in the center here. So there's combat, there's general, item creation, meta magic, and racial. Racials are normally you can only take those at the beginning. But so I say I just wanted a general feat, or you could just click feats. But I'm going to click general. Open up in a new tab here. So here we have every one of the feats. So you can run through and take a look at all the general. These aren't necessarily going to be combat feats. So you're able to do fun things with these. And again, all the descriptions. You guys have to go through and you have to read through these. I cannot help you guys pick them out. I can give you suggestions if you guys talk to me directly as to what fits your characters. I know a good many of them that we use a lot. And you also have to see what your whether you have the prerequisite to use it. The list is huge. Again, I'm just going to scroll here as I talk because there's just so many. So you have to go through and figure it out and figure out which one it is. I go through and I just go through the descriptions and go through and see. Okay, hey, does any of these make sense? Or I want to modify one of my class features, so I'll look for that class feature or Control F, Control Find and look for that class feature, and it'll give you all the ones that let you modify things. So there's a whole bunch of stuff, and everything's got prerequisites, or almost everything does. There's a couple. Fleet, your base speed increases by 5 feet. I could move even faster, so from 30 I'd move up to 35 feet, which would be 7 squares instead of 6 in combat, which is great. So feats, you're going to go through and you're going to pick out yourself. Like I said, you can talk to me directly and I'll help you, or just take your time and go through it. This is the general tab. Like I said, there's combat tab. It's just as long. Item creation, meta magic of using magic. Meta magic is the ability to modify spells, so make them automatically do max damage, automatically give max heals. They critical better. They do all sorts of good stuff. So meta magic has its own. You can go through and read those if you're a magic user. Okay, so go through feats on your own. I'm leaving that up to you guys. This really defines a lot of stuff your character can do. There's a lot of fun features that you can do with feats. Some just give bonuses, like this one, +1 bonus on attack and damage rolls within 30 feet. Let's see, Rapid Shot gives me an extra attack with a -2 penalty and everything. And then, the Precise Shot lets me ignore shooting into combat, the penalty. So those are the ones I'm picking for this character, because he's a ranger. He's going to shoot things. Okay, so those are my feats. Moving on. Skills. Skills is the second to last section that we're going to do here. So, going to Ranger. Back to the Ranger here. Scrolling up to the top here, it says class skills and skills ranks per level. I get 6 plus my intelligence modifier. Everybody gets plus their intelligence modifier. That's just across the board. So, I can go here, and on my little character sheet here, I have skill ranks per level. I can add 6. And if you notice, I do the math in the background, but because I'm level 4 and I have an intelligence modifier of 1, I get 4 ranks to begin with, just 1 times 4 levels. Now when I add the 6 in there, hit enter, boom, I get 28 ranks to put in. So ranks are going to go into here. Ranks according to skills are limited to, I believe it's your level. Now I need to check real quick. Where is it? I need skills. Where's skills? Classes, feats, skills. And again, if you see how many tabs I have open here, I am just checking everything as I go. Acquiring skills. Alright, so class skills. Alright, you can never have more ranks in a skill than your total number of hit dice. So I have a grand total of 28 skill points, and I can go up to a 4. 4 ranks in any one of these. So, going through, obviously, I want 4 in my acrobatics. I want to be able to climb really well. I mean, basic climbing a ladder you can just normally do, but I'm talking about climb up trees and stuff like that. So I'm going to put a 4 in there. I'm not going to do any of the crafting. Diplomacy, yeah, I'll give myself a 2. Well, not 20. 2 in there. Disable device. I'm not going to do disable device. Disguise. Don't need to do disguise. Escape artist. I'll do escape artist because there are certain constricting animals that I know. There's certain snakes and stuff like that that I wouldn't need escape artist to get away from. So I'll give myself a 3 in that one. Plus I have dexterity, so why not? Fly. I have no reason for a fly. Flying is literally how well can you fly. So if you had wings, you would have ranks in your fly skill. Handle animal. There we go. That's a good one. So we're going to put that one at 4. We're going to max that out. Healing. We're going to give a 2 to healing simply because I can apply bandages and stuff like that. It doesn't really give much in the way of health left. I have 9 points left. I've just burned through the majority of mine already. So I'm going to jump down real quick to stealth. I'm going to add a 3 to stealth. I'm going to add a survival is going to get a 3. Swim should get at least a 2. And knowledge nature is going to get a 4 because I feel like I should have knowledge nature really high. And what I'll end up doing is taking off of the escape artist. I'll take that off, make that a 2. Diplomacy will become just a 1. Acrobatics stays full. So let's see here. What else am I going to draw? I need 1 point off of one of these. Well, where else did I put it? So you go through points really quickly, and then you have to kind of balance it out. My climb is going to become a... Actually, it's going to just become a 1, because I just realized I didn't put anything in perception, which is noticing things. So that's going to get at least a 2. And that balances everything out right now. So I am balanced at 0. So yeah, I'm okay with that. Sometimes I might take a little bit longer to do that. That was real quick. And again, I just did the math. All I did here was take I3, which is my level right here, level 4, and I multiplied it by M8, which is skill ranks per level, and my intelligence modifier. So I add that. So every level I get 7. Okay, 6 and 1, 7. And then I get that for every level. So that gives me a total of 28. And then I just did a quick, math here. Sum up everything and count down, right? So there we go. Ability mod, I just had auto pull from over here. The mod, so all the mod is already filled in. Alright. That was just real simple. Normally you just fill it in yourself. So under here, acrobatics and dexterity, I'd go over here. 5, 5. And I put my ranks in, add them up, give me 9. Cool, done. I just did this for time speed. That way you don't have to watch me do all this. So there we go. Your built-in skills is all there. Let's see. Let's run through it real quick. So acrobatics. Oh wait, I completely forgot about something real quick. Class skills. You get a +3 bonus if you have ranks in them. Right here. Right here is where it says it. So if I go back to Ranger and I go through my class skills, so I have climb. Hey, cool. I know I have points in climb. I have points in handle animal and heal. I'm going to do those first. Climb, handle animal, heal. So let's see. You know what? Yeah, we'll just do this because I'm handy like that. So climb. Oh, I'm handy like that, right? Let's scroll over. Okay. Climb. I have a rank. I get an extra 3. Cool. I have no ranks in any of the crafts. Diplomacy's there. What's next? Handle animal. Hey, I have ranks. Give me a 3. Heal. I have ranks. Give me a 3. I didn't do this on purpose. I literally just kind of built my character how I thought, and then, oh yeah, some of these are going to be built in. Intimidate. I have nothing. Okay, so intimidate, just for you guys. On the character sheet, it's going to say charisma, is it? in my opinion, intimidate, you should be able to use your strength to intimidate someone as well. So if you have a really high strength or a really high charisma, you can use one or the other. Because charisma intimidation is verbal, in my opinion. You have the ability to make your presence known in a verbal way. Strength is, I'm sorry, if you've got big, massive, corded muscles, if you look like this dude here, the big muscles sticking out of it, just you walking down the dark alleyway flexing is normally enough to make some NPC get scared. So you don't necessarily have to say anything to be intimidating. So I say pick the higher of the two. So I left it blank. So for me, that would probably be charisma. So for this character, it would be a charisma-based intimidation. So, anyways, continuing on. Intimidate, don't have any. Knowledge engineering, no, I don't have any. Knowledge geography, don't have any. Knowledge nature, yes. Where's knowledge nature? Excellent. So I already have the +1 here. So I'm going to take, and that is a +4 now, which is awesome. My knowledge nature just jumped up to a 9, which is awesome. Perception, which is down here. That gets a 3. Ride. I don't have anything in ride, no rings. Spellcraft, don't know how many spellcraft. Stealth, I gave myself a stealth ring. You know, yes, okay, cool. Okay. And then, what's next? Survival and swim. Did I give myself? Oh, cool, I give it for both. So here we go. We got 3, 4 here. And then, swim gets a 3. There we go. So a lot of these bumped up. Okay. So again, going through here, acrobatics, I have a 9. So this is my bonus. So when I roll my d20, when I need to make an acrobatics check, I get to roll and add a 9. 5 for my climb, 1 for these. Now the last thing I want to go over is simply because it needs to be said. Some skills, we'll go to the character sheet on this one because it's best. Trained only, meaning if I have no ranks in them, I cannot use it. Use magic device, sleight of hand, spellcraft, professions, linguistics, knowledges. You can't make a knowledge check if you have no training in that knowledge. Handle animal, disable device. So I can't use some of the skills that I didn't put points in. I cannot use. They're barred from me simply because I didn't put any ranks in them. I have no training in them. I know nothing about history, or I should know something about geography. I'll remedy that later. But I know nothing about history, so I can't go through and make a knowledge check about history. So I'm really going to be really good at making knowledge nature checks, but I can't do history. So what's my knowledge nature? Where is that? I get a 9, so I get to roll a d20 plus 9, which is awesome. Okay, skills, complete. Used up all my skill points. Those are done. I have all my bonuses in there. I have my notes for the ones that, hey, if I'm tracking something, I get to add 12 instead of 10. What's my perception at? Because I want that to be, it's decent. That's an 8. Not the best one I have, but it's pretty close. Okay, so basically we have finished the majority of everything. All that's left right now is armor and inventory, armor and weapons. So we're going to make this full size again. That's back to full size. That's cool. So now give me this. Okay, make this full size again. Okay, so I'm going to start closing some of these things. I don't need that open. Weapons can stay open. Don't need that. Don't need that. Ranger, done with, no, we're not done with Ranger. D10, I forgot to do health. Oh, this can be done anytime. So, when rolling out your health, D10s, I'm going to use the dice roller. Did I keep that open? I did. Excellent. So, we're going to roll actually, we're going to roll 4d10. 4d10s. Because I know that I'm 4th level, and I have d10s for health. So, every level I get to add... Okay, no, that's old style. All right, so we're going to roll 3 d10s because I'm 4th level, and we're going to take those and we're going to add them up. So just standard, okay? So here, let's clear this real quick. We're going to roll this. So here, 3, 9, and 10. Awesome rolls. Ah, dang it, it gave me +6. I forgot to delete that out. Clear. Roll 3d10. All right, cool. So we have 1, 8, and 9. Not quite as good, but oh well. So I have 18 health right there. I get to add 1 full die at 1st level. So whenever you're a first level character, you just take the full amount. So if you're a D10, you get 10 hit points. If you're a D8, you get 8 hit points. So here's my 10, right? So I would get a 28 on here. But when you're doing health, you get to take, and where is it? Your ability score. Constitution affects your health. You get to take, and you also get your con bonus at every level. So that's what I was saying before when I was picking everything. I wanted something off of it. So when I was increasing my scores. So I get a 1. So that means I'm actually going to get a total of 4 hit points on top of what I rolled. So I'm going to add that into my roll here. So I had 18, I had 28, so I'm going to get a grand total of 32 health. Again, the math for that is, I had the 3 rolls. I had a 1 plus 8 plus 9 gave me an 18 plus the 10 from first level. So it's as though I had rolled a 10. Okay, plus 1, and I'll do it this way, 1, which is my con modifier, times my level, which is level 4. Gives me 32. Okay, so there's the math behind it. So you have your rolls, 10 being the first level, and then you have your con modifier times your level. Okay, so there's my 32 health. Delete that out of there, because I don't like it. Alright. So there, I got my health. So now I can go back here. I can close out of the die roller, because I'm done with that. I can close out of elves. I'm done with that. Close out of ranger. I'm done with that. I need weapons. Character advancement I only need because I know I have 6,000 gold pieces, which is actually a good bit, which is great. So I can close that. Ability scores, we're done with this. Skills, we're done with that. General feats, we're done with that. So we have weapons, and we have, I'm going to open, where is it? Equipment here. So I'm going to open armor. And then I'm going to open goods and services. So we're going to start with weapons because I'm already open to the right page. So a martial, there we go, martial longbow. A composite longbow plus 1 is 200 gold. My damage is going to be a D8, and I get to add 1 for my strength, which is great. So we're going to include that down here. So I have a longbow, and I'm going to make that a composite. So I'm down over here in my inventory. I already put in my starting gold. My current gold should subtract as I go. So a composite longbow. If I spell something wrong, I'm sorry. I'm an engineer, not an engineering major, or a English major. So the cost was 200. I know that. So there we go. The weight. What was my weight? Where is it? 3 pounds. Range is 110 feet, which is awesome. Talk about hitting things at the distance. So it was 3 pounds. Okay. So yes. Okay. Cool. So it's subtracted off there. So my weapon is going to be a composite longbow. Attack bonus. We get to figure out our attack bonus in a second here. Critical range is going to be, it's going to be at a 20. So if I roll a 20 and it's a times 3. If it's a range like this, so if for a greatsword, if you roll a 19 or a 20, you're threatening critical. A 20 is a auto hit. A 19 is not, but a 19 can still give you times 2 damage. Okay. So in this one, I only get it off at times 20 because it doesn't say anything else on it. So let's see. Let's go back to character sheet. Critical is a 20 times 2. Okay. Not 20, it's 20 is the roll. That's not my damage. Damage is 1d8 plus 1. Because it's a composite, I get to add plus 1. Range was 110. Type is piercing. Just P. Okay. Okay. Okay, attack bonus. So what do I get to roll? I get to roll in d20, and what do I get to add to it? Okay, so on a ranged attack, and again, if you go to the d20 PFSRD, under combat, where is combat? Forgive me, I didn't open this one ahead of time. Magic, there we go, combat. It'll open up a page, attack rolls. So here. So here's your attack rolls. Automatic hits and misses. Natural 1 is a miss. 20 is a hit. Critical threat. Attack bonus. Melee is base attack bonus plus strength plus size. Or medium. Nothing happens. Range is actually what we're doing. Base attack bonus plus dexterity plus size plus a ranged penalty. Okay? So, range penalties, if I was trying to shoot over 110 feet, I would, if I was 115 feet, so 1 square further, would give me a -2 penalty on this. And you can normally go up to 3 range increments, and it just keeps getting -2 every range increment. So anywhere from 115 to 220 is a -2. Anything beyond that would be a -4, and so on, so 5, you know. So, give you an idea. But for right now, we're going to take our base attack bonus. We are going to add our dexterity mod, which is 5, which is awesome. And we have no, I'm not going to include a range penalty for it right now. And we have no size modifier. That's just a 0. So I get to add 9. So I get to roll and add 9, which is kind of great. When it comes to doing damage, so let's see here. Damage, here we go. Strength bonus. When you hit with a melee or thrown weapon, including a sling, you add your strength modifier to the damage. You do not get to do that for ranged. So only on strength you get to add to your damage, or only melee. Because I'm using composite, we get to impart part of our strength into the damage of the bow because it throws the arrow that much harder. So we get to do that. I'm using a very specific weapon. Normally, if it was just a longbow, like I have it written here, like an idiot, I wouldn't get this +1. It would literally just be a D8 of damage. But that's what you get. I can hit someone from 110 feet away. That's kind of the bonus there. I'm not in any immediate threat, like someone in melee ranges. So it's just kind of a balancing factor. If I can shoot from this far away, I don't get to do a lot of damage. Okay, so so there's the longbow. So what else do I need here? I need armor. So we'll go to armor here. I can wear light and medium armor, and that's it. The big thing for me when I'm picking out my armor is the maximum dexterity bonus. I have a dexterity mod of 5. I get to add that mod to my armor, because you know what? Dodging. You can dodge things. Armor takes damage, and stops damage, but you can also avoid attacks. Not every hit hits. You can get a glancing blow and stuff like that. So I have a 5. So any of these that have a +4, that's the maximum I can use. So I would lose out. I wouldn't get to use my full 5. So I want to keep that in mind. So if I go to medium armors, I can use up to 4, and that's just a hide armor. I don't like that. I want to be able to use all 5 of my dexterity bonus. I don't want to waste it. Why would I waste it, right? So I'm going to stick with light armor. So the ones that give me a full 5 or more, the only ones that I don't want are wooden, chain shirt, or hide shirt. I want anything else. And it's going to go up in most likely price along here, but also in shield bonus. So this is my armor bonus here. So I would get to add, for me, because I have 5, I would get to add 3 and 5, plus any other miscellaneous modifiers, and add 10. That gives me my armor. And actually, I'm kind of liking this. I like this leaf armor because it's got no armor check penalty. Armor check penalty basically means that, hey, you're wearing armor, try to do a somersault while wearing armor. Try to do a somersault while wearing heavy plate. So a full knight set armor. Take a -7 to that. It's kind of bad. And it just makes it really hard. And that's the whole idea behind it is you're not that flexible. You're not going to be able to do a somersault wearing knight's armor. It doesn't work. So, coming back over here, I like the fact that it's got 0 here, and it's still got a pretty decent amount here. I mean, it's 500 gold pieces, but I have 6,000 to spend. So I may do that. I may pick the leaf armor. Plus, hey, I'm a woodland elf, so it kind of fits. So I'm going to do leaf armor. Let's do that. I like that. The more I say it, the more I like it. Leaf armor. Alright, cost was 500. Weight. I don't know what the weight was. I didn't even look. Leaf armor. Weight was 20 pounds. It's armor at the waist bit. 20. Okay. So, up here at AC. So now I know I get a 3. Again, I was looking at it, so I'm just going to put that in there. My dex should actually be equals my dexterity mod. No, there's a reason I did that. Because it might not have been my full dexterity mod. I might have picked something else, and it would have been, I only get 4 out of my 5. I only get 3 out of my 5. But because of the one I picked, I get 5 out of 5. I have no shield, so that stays at a 0. So right now, I don't have any other, there's other slots on the character sheet. I'm jump to it again real quick here. AC. For armor bonus, that's my 3. Shield bonus, that's a 0 for me. Dex mod, that's a 5 for me. And again, that could be limited. Size modifier for me is a 0. Natural armor is like thick skin. And there's certain magical items that'll give you that. Deflection modifier is things literally bounce off you. And there's magic items that do that for you. And then there's miscellaneous. God only knows what you need to put in that there. So you'd add them all up, add 10 to it, and there's your total. Okay? So there's spots for everything else. I only have the 3 spots because that's all that matters to me right now. So in here, I've already done add up 3 spots, add 10 to it. So my armor, I have an 18 armor right now. There's my armor. Touch AC basically is if someone's trying to touch you. It doesn't matter how much armor you're wearing, how thick your skin is for the natural armor one. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're wielding a shield. All they're trying to do is touch you. There's certain spells and stuff like that where all they have to do is touch you and you take damage or something happens. So what it does is it takes and it only uses your dexterity. So 10 plus your dexterity and deflection if you had it. But for mine, all it's using is my 5 for my dexterity. So 10 plus 5, 15. Flat-footed. What happens if you're surprised? Well, if you're surprised, you're not dodging. So you don't get that. But you do get your armor, your shield, your natural armor, your deflection bonus, and stuff like that. So you still get all those. So this is normally a little bit higher than your touch. I am kind of flopped right now because I have a really high dexterity. I'm doing that on purpose. That's the kind of character this is. Okay, so AC is done. That's the base set. I don't make people who are ranged keep track of ammunition unless it's special ammunition. So we don't have to worry about buying arrows for the longbow. Okay, so last but not least, we get to do. So we've done armor, we've done weapons, goods and services, adventuring gear. So this is basically the shop. You get to go through here and pick out all sorts of stuff. So bedrolls, blankets, tents. They kind of split it out. Hunting and fishing gear. This is I actually prefer the book to this because it's all on 2 pages instead of scrolling through here. Miscellaneous outdoor gear. Here's your rope. You're going to get horns, string, small steel mirrors, compasses, varying prices and weights and stuff like that. Whistles. Let's see. Candles, lamps, lanterns, dark flare, which is like a match kind of deal. Ever-burning torch, which is a magical, no heat, always lit torch. Food and drink. You don't really need any of this kind of stuff. I don't make you guys keep track of it. Unless your character's a drunk, then you might want to have a flask full of wine and stuff like that. So you can scroll through here and see also, I don't make you buy rations and stuff like that. So, alright, let's see. Going on. Is there anything else? There's all ale, lodgings, and stuff like that. Okay, so that gives you an idea. This is just the adventuring gear. If you go back to goods and services, you could do alchemical stuff, animals, books, papers, and writing supplies, clothing, if you want to have other additional clothing. So I want to have a really nice set of clothes that I wear. If we have to go to a giant party or something like that, then I want to be dressed well. Everybody else shows up in what they got. Locks, keys, tools, and kits. So if you're a rogue, you need your lockpicks. That's going to be here. Religious items. If you're a cleric or paladin, you need a religious symbol. That's going to be under here. So they split it out. Like I said, I prefer the books for this one simply because it's got everything in a couple of pages. So there we go. That's it. You get to go through and you get to pick out all your stuff. I know you have 6,000 gold to go through and buy things and keep on stuff. Okay? Okay, that's that kind of stuff. The last thing now is magical enchantments to your armors. So under magic items over here, and this is the thing. If you have questions on this, I can always help you guys out with it. So magic armor. Here we go. We'll click on that. We'll go to this one. So magic armor, basically you get bonuses, armor and weapons. When it comes to armor, it just increases the armor rating. So a +2 armor to mine, when it starts out with a 3, add 2, I'd get a +5 without taking any penalty to my dexterity mod. So I may do something like that because that costs 4,000. There are also special abilities that go on armor, so you'd have to click on it to read it. They have special armors here too. So certain armor, they pre-built certain armor, things like that. But they have different things that affect the armor and stuff like that. And this is where it gets a little bit complicated when you're putting stuff together. I would suggest you guys stick with just adding just bonuses for the start and really learn what else happens. I mean, how to apply this kind of stuff, because some of the stuff is you're adding the equivalent of a +1 bonus. So if I had a +1 armor and I added a +1 bonus, well, how much does that cost? Well, it's confusing, even for me at times. Someone's going to listen to this and write a comment going, no, it's not. You just don't know what you're doing. And that's fine. So if I wanted to do Defiant, I don't even know what it is. Mirrored, I know what that is because it reflects things. So a +1 bonus. So the grand total, you'd add up basically the equivalent of +1 bonuses. So if I have a +1 armor and I add a +1 enchantment, it basically makes it a +2 equivalent armor. So it would cost me a total of 4,000. So I could have a +1 there and have it be mirrored, and it would fall into this category. Or I have a +1, which is 1,000, and then I pick one of these other ones on here that Glamored adds that much to the price. So it would be a 3,700 armor. Okay. And shield and things of that sort. So that's how that works. Okay. So let's see. Like if you did a +3 armor shield, that's 9,000. You can't afford that. That's out beyond. So you can afford a +2, and that's it. Okay, so that's armor. You can add that to yours. You have 6,000 to play with, so that includes it's everything. That's all you have, so make sure you spend it wisely. Now we have magic weapons. Same kind of concept with the +1s. The +1s actually get added to damage as well as your attack. So my damage would go from a 1d8 +1 to a 1d8 +2 if I had a magic bow, and my attack would go from a d20 +9 to a d20 +10 with a +1. It gives it to both. And again, they talk about it. They do a pretty good job, but this is just in case you don't want to read. And again, same kind of idea. So you guys cannot afford a +2, but it would be the same general concept of you could do a +1 or a +2, and then you get +2 to damage, +2 to attack. Or you get certain specialty items and stuff like that. So these are all a +1 bonus: deadly, cunning, cruel, corrosive. You know, do different damage types and stuff like that. For all +1 bonuses. So, okay, all right. So again, you can always read this and go through and figure that out for yourself at this point. If you have other questions specifically related to this, we can do that at a different time. Okay? Alright guys, so this is the character sheet that I have, and that would take this along with all the rest of my inventory, all my class notes. Like I said, I would add that, and I just never stopped. I keep talking. So I would take these, everything that's written here, and transfer it to my actual character sheet. We've already done all the math and everything like that, so everything's been picked out. So that is everything. That is how you build a character. So again, hopefully you can take this and run through and pause and play and take care of this, and look at the feats and things like that. It takes a while. I'm explaining a lot of things. If I were just building a character, it would probably take me about a half hour to do this straight up, just to be silent to myself and build it, because I already knew what feats I wanted. I didn't need to talk about that. I could have just written those down. I took time to go through buying things and showing stuff, reading things out loud off the website and stuff like that, where I would just have boom, 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 boom. So you get better as the further along you go. So don't think it's that daunting. It gets faster. You get to know it because you play it. You have fun. You build characters. So hopefully this helps everybody build the first character. Hopefully the explanations made sense. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment, or guys in my group, send me a text, talk to me. All right, let me know what you guys need. All right. So thanks again, and I will talk to you all later. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully it all helps. All right. Bye.